can't. I
Well,
can't.
hello.
Welcome
Here,
back. Sorry.
welcome back. Welcome back. Season 2 of the Claiming Your Success podcast conversations with Caroline and Sabrina. Here we are. How are you doing, Caroline?
I'm just having that gift moment. Like I can't even. We're here, and especially like where we both been sharing like season 1 and just snippets. And when I shared like how we first started to the last one, I was just like, damn,
I
and
know.
it's just how it started now. It's just completely different energy, different
Yeah.
mindset,
Yeah.
different focus. I'm good, Sabrina. I am good today because
I
I'm
love
feeling
it.
excited.
I love it. And I could not reiterate that anymore. I feel like the growth that we've experienced since we even had the idea for this podcast, let alone day 1 of recording season 1, where we are in our lives right now, like night and day, what we've gone through in the past 6 months. Guys, we've got so much to share with you, and you're going to get a really great insight into what success actually takes, because Caroline and I have been through it these past 6 months. Like, we
Yo,
could not have written the script of closing down season 1 and then the lag time to opening up season 2 and what has happened in the in between. It's like a movie.
oh my gosh. And for all team, like we only had our actual proper catch up, what, a couple of weeks ago, So as soon as we stopped season 1, me and Sabrina, we had our focuses, because it timed perfectly for me with work, stepping into the busy winter season. Sabrina, listen, it's like it knew time was coming, which she's going to talk about. So we haven't even caught up. And where we catched up with to do with the season 2, we was like, okay, what's with the first one? And I was like, we need a catch up. How about we just bring the listeners in on me and you catching up, Sabrina, because we ain't had that, and we
Yeah.
got a lot to share
Yep.
on the
So
last
you're getting,
5 months, 6 months.
yeah. So you're getting the real tea, the real behind the scenes of us. And it's so funny that it happened the way that it has, because you're literally, you guys listening are going to hear Caroline and I, the way that we talk, the things that we talk about, because the reason one this podcast is called Conversations with Caroline and Sabrina is because this is what we talk about. We have that
Hmm.
kind of relationship where we don't gossip, we don't talk about frivolous things, we don't like, hi, where did you get your headband? Like, we don't have conversations like that. We have very deep kind of growth, forward focused conversations. Just that's the nature of our relationship, it's the nature of our friendship. And so it seemed like the perfect way to bring in season 2 was just to give you the, like, open the curtain of
Yep.
what a catch up conversation for us looks like. So with that, what's give me an update, Caroline. How has the last 6 months been for you? I want to hear the goods, the bads, the lessons, all of it.
Do you know what, right? The back end of after the podcast, right? After podcast, after marathon, after a couple of other successes I had, like as soon as you start climbing team, you got kind of go like you take a little dip,
Mm.
and it's not that it was a bad dip. I didn't even realize it was a dip, It kind of was me realizing that I need to, and again, I'm actually gonna say it. At this point, right, I'm cutting off people now. Not like
Mm.
that, but I ain't got time. Exactly what Sabrina just said, right? Our conversations aren't gossip, isn't, where did you get your headband from and stuff like that. So,
No, but it's a
you know,
very cute
no, no,
headband.
pass
Like, we could talk
it.
about my headband.
But do you know what, right? That is literally something, because you would have someone where I would see Sabrina's headband, right? And I'm gonna go and find where I can get that from and not ask her. Whereas you would have the other person who would ask, where did you get it from? Would need that direction of that link being shared. That's the difference of two different types of people, their team,
Mm, mm,
And Sabrina, it was like the back after that, it all went downhill. Went downhill work.
mm,
It wasn't that it went downhill with business. It was like I had to realign again. Once you start to level up in yourself, no, before you level up your success, you got to level up in yourself. So I was at a point where I needed to level up me, right, in
mm,
order to get the next level of success. So in that, you got to take a couple of steps back, and that's what I had to do. So if anything, the last 4 or 5 months, I've actually just been sailing like this. As much as it may seem, I am leveling up. I'm get like right now, I've peaked. But the last 6 months, it's been tough. Sabrina, it's been tough. I'm telling you, it's been tough. And mainly, it's been the whole work and personal. Work and
Mm.
personal. Rena, what about you? How's
What's
the
been,
last?
before we get to me, what's been your biggest
Uh,
lesson? Your biggest lesson with all of that, knowing that you had, like, I feel like coming off season one, you were at a real high, and
yep,
then you just described this big dip that you took,
yep.
and like we'll talk about coming out the other side in a second. But what was the lesson in the dippest of the dip?
Biggest lesson.
Mm,
There's always gonna, and I'm gonna swear, there's always gonna be shit shows.
mm,
You have to keep showing up through the shit shows. Biggest lesson, life is always life in. And if you're
mm,
going to let it get in the way of you, don't start an entrepreneurial journey. Don't start network marketing. Don't start affiliate marketing, because it takes you to keep pushing through the shit shows and all of that to get through the other side. And if you ain't prepared to do that, don't start it.
mm,
And as much as people might be like, "Ooh, Caroline, that was tough." That's the type of mindset you need.
mm,
And yes, I wasn't here, but I'm letting you lot know. And guess what? I had someone there to let me know, and that was Sabrina. Sabrina had someone there to let her know. That's why I'm still here today, because it's all, you need to be transparent, honest, guys. It is hard.
mm.
That's why when
And
it comes to, oh
I
yeah,
feel like you already knew that. So is this just did this just solidify that? Because it
it
was
did.
like, okay, this is like real hard. I'm
Yeah.
deciding that I'm going to keep going. Or was there something more about that lesson that kind of hit you?
Right now, it's not in my head, but I know once you probably start talking or we get further in the conversation, it's gonna be like, Sabrina, it's here. I've got it. Um, I feel like, right, yeah. Do you know? Wait, hold on. Say that again, because I've got something in my head, and I feel like I'm gonna ramble with it. What I'm gonna have in my
No,
head.
I just asked, like, to clarify, because yes, we know that the journey is hard and you have to keep going even when it gets hard, even through the hard times. So I feel like you already knew that was a lesson that you already knew. So
Mm.
going through this tough time over the past 6 months, did that just reconfirm kind of that lesson, or was there something deeper within that lesson that you learned?
I kind of feel like it reconfirmed,
Mm,
more so because it's every time you level up and you step to that next level of success, you need to become another
that's
version
it.
of yourself.
That's it.
So
That's
it
it.
is that, and this is it. People think it's, oh, you need to reinvent the wheel, when it's not.
Mm,
You actually need to take them steps back to then figure out what went wrong, realign, and know you have to do it differently, because it's
that's
that,
it.
someone who's earning 4 figures, if you want to earn the 6 figures, you're not going to show up as the person who earned the 4 figures. And that's a big missing link as well with people.
Mm.
Just saying.
Yeah, that's it. Like that is the, I feel like that was what I was looking for, without knowing that that's what I was looking for. Because it's we've all heard at every level there's another devil, right? But I don't think people put that with to themselves. I feel like
Yeah,
they think every level there's another devil. There's always going to be some outward thing that's
yeah,
going to come in and challenge us. And yes,
always.
that's true. That's true, absolutely. But in order to meet that outward thing, and I always think of these challenges in entrepreneurship as like the boss at the end of platform games. You know, when you're playing like Sonic the Hedgehog or like Super
Break
Mario
down the
Brothers,
metaphor, yeah. Dropping them nuggets
and
already in
and there's
season 2, episode 1.
and there's like the boss that you have to defeat at the end of the level in order to get to the next level. I feel like in at every layer of entrepreneurship, you meet the boss before you get to that next
Yours,
level of
yeah,
success. And so in order to be able to meet the boss, you have to be stronger. You have to be better. You have to find something within yourself to
mm-hmm,
like beat that, because every boss is harder to beat
yeah,
at every level,
exactly.
right? And I feel like you just described that as what it has taken for you, is that you've had to go inside and find the next level version of Caroline in
Yeah,
order to meet these challenges.
yeah. Because if I can like relate, try and get you lot to find it, like understand it better, is I started as sales assistant in retail. If I stayed as sales assistant, I wouldn't be able to be a supervisor. If I stayed as supervisor, I wouldn't have been able to be assistant manager. How have I got to deputy then store manager? because I've excelled in all of those levels. Oh, Sabrina, yeah, I will dive in more, but I feel like, honestly, as much as I've been through a lot, Sabrina has been through a lot as well. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to this because even that, Sabrina, a couple of people I've seen the last couple of weeks have gone through something similar to what you've
Mm,
gone through. And I kind of feel like as well, at some point we will talk about people not keeping all their eggs in one basket and not
mm,
relying on and actually starting to look at their skill set and working
mm,
on their skill set to provide the value. But yeah,
mm,
well, I'll make sense soon, team. Sabrina,
mm.
yeah, because yeah, I feel like a lot of people can connect with you with this next part.
Yeah, so big shifts happened in my personal life, but also more so, I think, in my business, and because of that, in my mindset too. So the network marketing company that I was part of for 7, nearly 8 years, decided to close down its network marketing part of its business. So the business that I'd built for nearly 8 years, the team that I'd built over that amount of time, my customer base, all of that, gone,
Oh,
gone.
sorry, I'm just going to interject a second because I assumed it was just your coaches and your business, basically your business partners that had gone.
Yeah.
I thought your customers still
Yeah,
stayed
so
underneath you.
I've found a way to keep my customer base as best I can, but because the company shifted to an affiliate marketing model, there's no way to kind of the platform that they chose to partner with to kind of steam engine that whole side of things. There's no way to see if somebody uses your link to order. You don't know who that is. So you can't connect to your client base and your existing client base. The only way that you benefit from their orders, or you know what they've ordered, so you can support them in what they're doing, is if they use your link every single time they place an order. So they're not like some companies will use your link once, that's your customer for life. Every time they order, you receive a commission, or you know at least what they've ordered so that you can support them in that journey and what they're going through. But we don't have that transparency at all. So yes, all the coaches and the team that I built, that went away overnight, but also to maintain my customer base, that was really challenging to gather all my people together and find a new platform for us to communicate so that I can continue to coach them. But then continuing to grow that business is almost impossible because I don't have any I don't have any visibility about if somebody uses my link, what they ordered, what where that kind of commission came from. I can't plan for like financial expansion because I have to literally speak to every single person every single time to give them the specific link they need to purchase in order to benefit from that order. So it's just been an absolute nightmare. And honestly, a lot of people, very many people within my industry that were with that company, decided just to close down their businesses full stop and have gone to
Yeah.
other network marketing companies because of those challenges. And that's fine, like I can understand that, but I felt such a responsibility to my client base, my customers, the people that I've built relationships with through the
Hmm.
entirety of my career. I felt such a responsibility to them to continue to support them in their health journeys. Because one of the reasons for that is because I know how hard and how vulnerable it is to let somebody in to help you when you're trying to lose weight, when you're trying to get healthier, when you're trying to reverse disease or get off medication. It's hard to let somebody in to help you with that. And then let alone letting somebody in to help you with that. And then they just like, okay, I don't earn money from you anymore. So bye. Like, I'm not okay doing that. So a lot of the work that I do now
Yeah.
with my current client base, I don't get compensated for, but I feel like it would be completely out of integrity for me because of the things that I value to just wash my hands, you know? So, so much of the lesson that I've learned through these past 6 months that have been, man, it's weird to say, but I went through like a grieving process.
Yeah, I was
for
gonna say, how did you feel at
a
first?
solid couple of months. At first it was kind of like, okay, let's get this together. Okay, let's figure this out. And I wanted to like make sure my team, those of us that wanted to continue maybe with the affiliate marketing model, or if
Yeah,
they wanted to go and explore another network marketing company, or they wanted to do whatever, that there was a way for us to stay connected to, so I can continue to mentor and we can continue to support each other in our endeavors. That didn't quite, oh, excuse me, that didn't quite work out in the way that I hoped. But at first, it was all that was all I was thinking about. I was so concerned about my team and what they were gonna, what was, in their
yeah,
future. So at first, it was just very much kind of like nose to the grindstone. Let's figure this out. Let's make sure we've got a plan moving forward and all of that. So from September until I want to say just before Christmas,
yeah,
it was very much like that. It was just very kind of like, let's figure this out. And then Christmas rolled around, when it's a natural slowdown time for everybody. It's kind of, you're starting to think about your coming year, like plans and vision and goals and all that kind of stuff. And I get very introspective at the end of the year. And I landed in I, it was a high functioning depression, I think I landed in, because
yeah,
not necessarily because of the business going away. It was more the vision that I had for my future, that this business was the pathway to. I
yeah,
no longer had that pathway to that
yeah.
vision, right? And so I felt very lost and very kind of like, what
What
was
do
the
I do now? Well,
point?
yeah,
What
yeah,
was the point of it all? Like I built these relationships with my team. I knew their hopes and dreams, and I felt like I carried some of that on my own back to help
yeah.
them, fulfill all this stuff. And then to have that just go away, and then those relationships just disappear, I was like, what was the point of everything that I sacrificed and put all my energy into over the past 8 years? What was the
Yeah,
point of
yep.
it? Like, so there was all that. So for a solid couple of months, I think December to early February, I just felt very kind of just down, really
Yeah.
down, you know? And then some things happened, and, I gave myself a big stern talking to.
I was gonna
And
say, how did you pull yourself out of it?
just, I think I just got really sick of being in that
In that,
headspace.
yeah,
I just
yeah, I
got
can
really
imagine.
tired of it because I'm not that person. I've worked really hard.
Listen, it's
I've
hurting
worked
me right
really
now to hear
hard.
this. I feel like I'm welling up because I'm like, this ain't my Sabrina,
No,
but it's like I would
I've
have
worked
probably felt
really hard
exactly
on
the
my
same.
my healing journey and my transformation and my growth and my self-esteem. I've worked really hard to build those things. And so I was like, I haven't done all of that to be taken out by this obstacle. And
Aha!
and I wouldn't be the person that I am, the coach that I am, how I mentor, how I lead, if I allowed the obstacle to take me out, because that's what I preach to my people all the time.
Right, the obstacle is not a reflection of us.
Yes. And often the obstacle is the way, right?
Yep,
So just what Caroline was saying about, I don't know whether this is the right time to talk about it, but I'm going to go there because
it's
you mentioned
gonna
it.
flow. Yeah.
But having the a diversification, right? If you have all your eggs in one basket, and that's one of the things that I always taught my teammates, one of the foundational pieces of the mentorship that I provided to these women over the past 7 years was, if this opportunity was to go away tomorrow, would you have a business? That was always a question that I asked. And
Hold on.
so
I think you should say that one more time for the listeners because it's the same thing for them. It's the same thing. Say that again.
if your
Bad.
opportunity,
Pull
if your
up.
opportunity, if your opportunity, your business model went away tomorrow, would you still have a business? Would you still have a way in which you could serve and earn an income? And if the
Mm-hmm.
answer is no, you like, something needs to shift, because that's the same as going and working a 9 to 5 job. If they went and told you that you were fired tomorrow, would you still have an income? No, you would not. So with entrepreneurship, the whole point is to have a little bit of more control about where
Mm-hmm.
your income earning opportunity comes from. And so if all your eggs are in the basket of your network marketing company or affiliate marketing model, then if they decide to close up shop tomorrow, like what happened to me, like, what are you going to do? And
What are you
so
going to do?
I think one of the things that, well, it was what saved me, is that for the past 2.5 years, I've been
Mm,
building my coaching practice. So I certified, qualified, all of the things to become a life and performance coach. And alongside my business, I was building that. So then guess what? When that February moment, when that happened in September, and then I had that February moment of, okay, I'm over my damn self. What happens? Sabrina dives all the way in to building her coaching practice. So you have to have the ability to have some element of control in your life, because isn't the point, like, most of us get into entrepreneurship for more freedom? Yes.
yep.
If you don't have control, at least as much control as you possibly can have of where your income streams are coming from, do you really have freedom?
Right. And then I want to just say, oh my God, it's just gone from my head now. Seriously, I think of one thing. Caroline, notebook, learn from last time. Oh, it will come back to me. It will come back to me. And then fast forward to now, Sabrina.
Mm.
How are you feeling? It's come to my head now. How are you feeling?
I feel so hopeful. And it even makes me like get teary eyed saying
Like,
that, because I feel so hopeful. And it just goes to show, like, everything that Caroline shared about being in the deepest of the dip. I call it the pit
the
in my,
pit.
when I coach, being in the deepest recesses of that pit. It can feel impossible, that things are never going to change, that it's always going to be like this. Why does this always happen to me? We can get very negative and
Yeah.
all, like, it can just feel so heavy and big. When you're in that, things feel hopeless and impossible. You have to become resilient enough
Mm-hmm.
in your journey to be able to claw your way out of that, because
Yep.
when you do, you find hope again.
Yep.
You have this element of self-belief, you know. And
Yeah.
here's the thing about self-belief that I think a lot of people get twisted, and I know, Caroline, this was something for you in the beginning, is that if you when you keep the promises you make to yourself, when you overcome challenges, when you overcome struggle, when you overcome hurdles and obstacles, every time you show up and do that, you're putting like a deposit into the bank account of Caroline's self-belief, right? So that when something big comes along, yeah, it's going to knock you down. Like, neither of us, both of us have just described to you that what we've gone through totally knocked us down. But
Mm-hmm.
did we stay down? Did it keep us down? No, because we got to cash in on the deposits that we'd made in our self belief and know that we could rise up and pull ourselves out of that. So, if you're somebody who is trying to build your business and you struggle with a lack of self belief, maybe that's the reason you're not showing up to do what you need to. Maybe that's the reason you're not fully claiming your success. You have to keep putting in those deposits. You
You
have to
have
show up
to.
for yourself.
And then what I was gonna say, it came back to me was the fact that in the moment we feel like we're going through the shittiest of shows, but then afterwards, like hearing Sabrina now, she is gonna be so incredible come this time next year, right? And then she's probably gonna look at the network marketing company she had and be like, I'm like 25,000 times better off with my coaching business. And it's
I
like,
already feel that way.
"Ah, I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that.
I already feel that way.
That was what was meant to happen. And you know what, right? And this is what I've noticed as well. If you look back, there probably was a lot of signs telling you that now was probably time for you to step away and go fall in on your business, because you can make what you want to happen without a company attached to that, you
Yeah.
know?
And the thing about that, Caroline, though, that I want to make really clear is that I wouldn't have that if it wasn't for my network marketing business,
Yes.
though.
Yes,
Right?
though.
Like,
Yes, that's
so
so big.
we're not sitting here saying don't have a network marketing business.
No, we're not.
Please don't
Oh,
get it
God,
twisted
what
like
the?
that. We're not saying that,
The
right?
alarm going off.
Oh, the alarm going off. Damn. Okay, we've got 5 minutes. We're not saying that, right?
No, we're not.
We're saying, and I think this is the biggest lesson that I've learned about success over the past 6 months. We're not saying don't go all in on that dream. Don't give yourself that opportunity. What we're saying is, don't give yourself only that
That
opportunity,
opportunity,
right?
right?
And then,
Yes.
because if it wasn't for my network marketing business, guess what? I wouldn't have the skill set of coaching that I do. I wouldn't have had the opportunities to learn and grow, because most of my income for at least the first 5 years of my business went back into my personal growth.
Yep.
Let me say that again. Most of the income, at least 50% of what I earned from my network marketing business, went back into my personal growth. That's the money that I used to get my coaching certifications. That's the money that I used to hire coaches. That's the money that I used to be in programs. That's the money that I used to be in masterminds, where I learned how to be a businesswoman, right?
Sorry, I'm going to interject quickly because that is such a big thing, team. When the money you earn from your network marketing businesses, right? Affiliate marketing, however you're earning the extra income, you shouldn't, well, in my opinion, you shouldn't go spending it. You need to keep it there so you can keep track of it, right? And exactly what Sabrina says, you then use it to reinvest back into yourself. That's what you do every time, because that's how you are going to level up and become more
1000%.
successful.
1000%. And then when you do that, regardless of how it goes, like if the company that you're with closes down, if something happens and someone screws you over or whatever, it can never be a mistake.
Nope.
Being part of that business, being part of that model, saying yes to that opportunity can never be a mistake. Like, even I wish that it hadn't happened the way that it had, but
Yeah.
I don't see the last 7 years as a waste.
Nope.
Even though I was kind of down and out, like, oh, woe is me, and why did this have to happen, and what was the point? Like I was sharing with you, I'm very clear about what the point was. The point was to grow me into this version of Sabrina that exists today, in order for me now to grow
Hmm.
into the next level of the business that I'm going to have, right? So it all has a purpose. And I think that has been the biggest lesson that I've learned about success specifically over
Yep.
the past 6 months. It's all supposed to go the way that it does.
And I feel like I agree with you because a lot of my captions at the minute on Instagram is me saying somewhere in the caption, this is all because of network marketing. If I didn't start network marketing, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be there. Because it's true, guys, you know? And then even where I'm connecting with a lot of people who want to go down the business route and things like that, I first say to them, maybe you should see if network marketing or affiliate marketing is for you. Because what it takes for you to be successful in that is a smidget of what it's going to take for you to be successful in your own business. So if you can't do that, don't even think about starting because it takes a lot. A lot.
And that, wouldn't you agree that's something that people don't consider? Is because it sounds sexy, doesn't it? I'm an
Mm.
entrepreneur. I own my own business. It sounds
Yeah,
sexy. So
it
that's
sounds
something
sexy.
that
Yeah.
that you want to do. But the thing that makes you successful is not the things that look or sound sexy. The
No,
things that make you successful are not the vacations and
or the pretty
the
pictures.
pretty pictures and stuff like that. The things that make you successful are the crawl on your bloody knees, scraping your fingernails on the ground to get yourself to the next, like the messy, dirty, ugly, awful work. That's what makes you successful. So
Literally.
if your dream and your vision are not big enough in order for you to want to do that ugly work, like, go and find something else to do.
Right? And also, if you're going to put a timestamp on it, if you're going to put a timestamp on it, which is something I did in the beginning, bye.
Mm,
Bye. It is,
mm,
again, same thing, because your success is inevitable. It can keep going. Don't put a
mm.
cap on it because you're already putting a cap on it. Sorry, I was trying to put that last bit in before I see the minute go around. It goes to 30 minutes and then we're done for the season. What? I think the
So
two episode
good.
one. Oh
Oh
my
my God. I can't
gosh.
even believe that episode 1 is already done. Like, we
Done.
covered so much, and
I
yet
know,
we didn't
right?
even really get into the real of anything, which is fine, because what you can expect from this season is that everything that we just talked about, we're going to take to a deeper level.
Yep.
I'm going to share more about what went on in that company. I'm going to share more about my opinion, and kind of not just my opinion because I don't judge people, or I try very hard not to, but just what I've observed of people that have where they've gone since that happened, people that were in that company, and the choices that they've made over the past 6 months. I'm going to share more about that. Uh, we're just gonna dive deeper, because I think these conversations are just so valuable for all of the obstacles that you will potentially come across in your
Yeah.
business and how to navigate them. Not necessarily we're not going to be sharing like do this and do this and do this, but from sharing our experience and our
Yes.
perspective, you can maybe take away something that will help you navigate the struggle that you come across in a way that maybe you wouldn't if you hadn't heard our stories.
Totally agree. Right.
All right. That's
See you
it.
for episode
Episode 1. We'll
two.
see you for episode 2. Take care, guys.
Bye.